Imagine standing at an airport counter, ticket confirmed, documents ready, and instead of help, you get laughed at, publicly, mocked, humiliated. That's exactly what happened to one quiet passenger, while travelers pulled out their phones and recorded everything. The airline staff thought he was just another customer they could disrespect, but what they didn't know was that one calm phone call he made would trigger an investigation that shook the entire company. Suspensions, policy changes, industry, reforms, and a lesson that went viral across the world. This isn't just an airport story. It's proof that respect matters, and sometimes the quietest person in the room has the loudest impact. Stay with me, because what happens next changed airline customer service forever. The airport was loud, rolling suitcases, boarding calls, crying babies, coffee machines hissing, hundreds of people moving in every direction, all in a rush, all stressed, all distracted, and right in the middle of that chaos, everything suddenly went quiet, not because the airport stopped, but because people stopped. It started with laughter. Not normal laughter, mocking laughter, sharp, loud, public. Marcus Reed stood at the airline counter, phone pressed to his ear, wearing a clean camel coat and travel backpack, calm, polite, tired, like someone who had worked a long week and just wanted to get home. He had arrived early. His documents were ready. His ticket was confirmed, but the two airline agents in red uniforms behind the counter were not helping him. They were performing. One of them, name tag, Lisa, smirked and said loudly, "Sir, maybe if you read the email properly, you wouldn't be in this mess." Her coworker laughed. Passengers nearby turned their heads. Marcus stayed calm. "I did read it," he said quietly. "Your system changed my connecting flight." Lisa leaned toward her coworker and whispered something, but loud enough for people to hear. Funny how it's always the same story. More laughter. Phones slowly began to rise from the crowd. Someone started recording. Marcus noticed, but he didn't react. He simply said, "Can you please fix it?" Lisa crossed her arms. "No," just like that. No explanation, no apology. No. Professionalism, just a public shutdown, and then she added the sentence that would later cost her everything. "Maybe next time book a ticket you can actually understand." The line behind Marcus gasped. That wasn't customer service, that was humiliation. Marcus slowly nodded, still calm, still controlled. He stepped aside, opened his phone, and made a call. Not angry, not loud, just precise. "Hello? Yes, I'm at Terminal 3. I think it's time." He hung up and waited. The staff laughed again. They thought it was over. It wasn't. It hadn't even started. Most people at the airport saw Marcus as just another passenger. They saw the coat, the phone, the quiet attitude. What they did not see was who he really was. Marcus Reed was not loud about his success. He didn't post luxury photos. He didn't brag online. But in corporate aviation circles, his name carried weight. He was a senior compliance advisor for an international aviation regulatory board, a private oversight organization that audited airline operations, discrimination complaints, and service violations. In simple words, he investigated airlines, globally. But he never used his title to intimidate anyone. He preferred to be treated like a normal traveler, because how people treat normal customers reveals the truth. And today, the truth walked right up to the counter and got mocked. 10 minutes passed. The two staff members continued joking with each other. They processed other passengers quickly, smiling, polite, helpful. But whenever they glanced at Marcus, they smirked. One even imitated his calm voice. The crowd noticed. The recording phones did not go down. Then something changed. Two men in dark airport, operations suits, entered the terminal area. They were not security. They were not airline staff. They were corporate compliance officers. They walked directly to the counter. Lisa's smile faded. "Is there a problem?" she asked. One officer showed a badge. Yes, he said calmly. There is. He turned to Marcus. Mr. Reed, thank you for waiting. Now Lisa's face lost all color. The co-worker stopped breathing mid-laugh. Passengers leaned forward. The officer continued. We've reviewed the live complaint submission and public conduct report. We'll take it from here. Lisa blinked. Complaint? Marcus said nothing. He just watched. Calm. What Lisa didn't know, Marcus's phone call wasn't to complain. It triggered an automatic compliance escalation, including live terminal, camera pulls, and passenger footage requests. Within minutes, videos were already uploading. Multiple angles, multiple witnesses, multiple microphones. The officers asked the staff to step away from the counter. Right there, in front of everyone. Passengers, whispered. Some clapped quietly. Lisa tried to recover. This is a misunderstanding. The officer replied, Good, then the footage will support you. Her co-worker muttered, We were joking. The officer turned slowly. Customer humiliation is not humor. Another officer arrived, this one from Airport Authority Management. Now, it was serious. Marcus finally spoke. I asked for help. That's all. No drama, no speech, no anger, just facts. The most dangerous thing in an investigation. Lisa attempted one last defense. He was being difficult. The officer asked, How? Silence. Because calm people are hard to accuse, and everything was recorded. Within 24 hours, the video exploded online. Not because Marcus posted it, passengers did. Headline, Airline staff publicly mock passenger. Didn't know who he was. Millions of views. Civil rights groups shared it. Aviation forums analyzed it. Customer service. Trainers reacted to it. But the real shock happened behind the scenes. Marcus submitted a formal report, not emotional, not procedural, and that report triggered a discrimination conduct audit, a training compliance investigation, a customer mistreatment review, leadership accountability check. The airline discovered something worse. This was not the first complaint about that counter team. Just the first one. Caught on camera. Executives flew in. Emergency meetings started. Internal emails leaked. Training manuals were rewritten. Public. Apology drafts began circulating. Lisa and her co-worker were placed on immediate suspension. But the story didn't end there. Because Marcus didn't ask for revenge. He asked for reform. 1 week later, the airline made a public announcement. Not just a firing, not just an apology, a policy change. New rules, mandatory bias training, recorded customer interactions, real-time complaint escalation buttons, third-party conduct review boards, public service transparency reporting, industry media called it the Reed Protocol. Marcus declined interviews, declined money offers, declined media tours. He gave only one statement. Respect should not depend on who the customer is. Airports across the industry adopted the training model. Customer service seminars used the footage, not as shame, but as warning and change. As for Marcus, he caught the next flight home, quietly, like he always intended, because real power doesn't shout, it documents, it calls, and it changes systems. And that's the story of how one moment of public disrespect turned into a company-wide wake-up call. A reminder that how we treat people, especially when we think no one important is watching, defines who we really are. Respect costs nothing. But disrespect can cost everything. If this story made you think, moved you, or taught you something, don't forget to like the video and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Subscribe to the channel for more powerful real life, inspired stories every week. And tell me in the comments, what would you have done in his place? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.